So good morning, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 10:02 according to my computer. This is a meeting of the 2020 Trumbull Redistricting Committee. And I'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
of
United
the
States
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice.
justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, can we do a roll call, please? Laurel Anderson. Who's here? Tony Cinto. Tom Kelly, Kevin Shively as committee members. Looks like Kathy McGannon, Dan Shopik, Steve Early, Stephen Lemoyne, and Cindy Katsky. Can't tell if someone else just joined us. No, and Bill Chin is also on, but he's coordinating.
And Jean.
And Jean, yes. I don't see anybody else. No one else is showing up, so I guess we'll go with that for now, Jean. Okay, is there any public comment? That was good comment. Okay, hearing none, I'm going to move along to the approval of the minutes of the April 16th meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Moved.
Who was that?
That was Tom.
Thank you. Second?
Seconded by Kevin Shively.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Tony, I think you're abstaining, but we can't hear you. Nope.
Still can't hear you.
Are you? I think you're muted.
No, he's not muted.
He's not muted?
Not from what I can tell.
Tony? No, okay. I think he's asking us to wait a minute.
Okay.
Laura, was Tony at the last meeting? He may be.
He was not, which I
He's
believe
probably abstaining.
he is, but I'd sort of like to
You got to hear it
hear
from
from
him.
him. Yeah.
I'd also like to remind everyone that anyone who's speaking should identify themselves each time they speak under the governor's executive order.
I'm having some email connectivity problems yet again. Could someone who has email, could you reach out to Richard White and email him and see if he's going to join us?
What's the email address?
RW at, anybody know? Like Walden?
Let me try. I may have it already. Let me see.
I'm sending him a text right now.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
you are? Okay.
This is Cindy Katsky.
Tony, are you still with us?
He may have gone to get something to work better with his mic.
Yeah. Tony?
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah,
All
now
right.
we can. Yeah.
Sorry, I did a complete rehaul of everything here. So
Okay.
I built a bunker, so I had to change a whole bunch of stuff.
No worries.
All right.
All right. So Tony, could you give us your vote on the minutes?
Oh, I wasn't here, so I'm abstaining.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So this is Laurel again, Laurel Anderson. So just to advise everyone, the town council did present a resolution which passed, pushing back the deadline of our report to July, I think it was 9th. So our report will not be due then until July 9th, which gives us a little more flexibility, obviously getting the report finished. So that being said, any comments or conversations on that? No? Okay. So we got a bunch of things emailed to us. One is the corrected boundary descriptions. These were boundary descriptions from 2012, which I believe Steve Early, Steve, are you still with us or did we lose you? Steve?
He was here.
Yeah, and he's showing up as here, but
Oh, no, he's there. I see him there,
yeah.
but he's muted.
He's muted. Now he's mute.
Steve? Oh, there you are. Can you hear us? Nope, we can't hear you now. Steve? Nope.
So Steve, there's a little arrow next to the microphone mute button. If you click that arrow, make sure it selects your microphone as the input.
No?
No, nothing, huh? If all else fails, there's also a link in that to switch to phone audio also if you have to. There's also a speaker and mic test link as well there.
Steve, say something so we could see if you're. Nope. Well, you're muted again anyway. Okay, do you want to try just calling in, Steve? Okay, maybe let's look at the map while Steve's working on his sound. So we did get an updated map from Richard White, which was part of the packet, and it's also on the website. It's one of the documents on the on this meeting's website with the agenda.
Are we talking about the computer printed map or the one that has the hand-drawn?
No, the computer printed, which is what we had
Okay.
asked for, that we
Okay.
get an updated one of that so that,
Yeah, I have both. I just wanted to make sure I knew which one
Yeah.
to look at.
so this is one we haven't had electronically before. So this is a 7-district map with the borders, I believe, agree to that amended property description list that we also received. So I'm going to throw it out to you all for some comment.
Well, I have a few comments on it. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I wrote this down, so I'm just gonna read what I wrote.
Identify yourself, Tony.
So it's Tony Cinto. Sorry, Dan. I found on this map, I found there's no gap between Hampton and Elliott. Mulberry becomes Hampton at Hampton. Hampton make a 90-degree turn at Mulberry. There's no gap between West Misha and Westlake. Just use the census block line, southern end of the lake. This is too close. The census block and connect West Misha and Westlake. There are Unity Road, the Parkway, Reservoir Avenue, and White Plains Road would take another page typed explanation. The state assembly districts are not shown on the map. Most of the districts are split districts. This won't make a real difference. So those are the couple of things that I found on the map. Also, knowing the area on this particular map, the people have always complained in reference to driving turnout, right? That's what this is all about. If anybody knows anything about District 7 from the past, there's always been a lower turnout in District 7 for multiple reasons. And the way the map is drawn now, behind, off of Reservoir, on the right side, Alberta, Sunrise, hang on one sec. Make sure I got all the streets. So I remember them correctly. Hold on. I lost the thing here. Hang on one sec.
Dan Shopik, I think Alice Place is there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the streets. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head. Hang on. They're off on the right-hand side of the road. They're behind Tom Cristiano's house. That's what I normally call them. The streets behind his house. Hang on one second. I'm making the map bigger so I can see it better. A lot of these houses in this part of town are rented to students now. And you also have Avalon Gates, which that's not what it's called now, but a lot of people don't normally vote from Avalon Gates during a municipal election. It's usually a very low turnout from that location. I remember one election, it was like 10 people voted from Avalon Gates. I can't remember the year it was, but that was the thing. But that whole area off a Reservoir, anything close to the Bridgeport border, anything close to Sacred Heart, a lot of those houses on that side of town are rented. So if you're trying to create turnout by this map, your turnout's going to be lower than it normally was. Because, and I'm guessing from what I looked at the map that was drawn, you're trying to keep the 122nd into District 2 for, so you can have a polling place closer to that district. I'm just guessing now. I wasn't there when they did it, so I'm just throwing it out there. This is when I looked at the map, this is what I thought. Because you're still gonna have a problem if you go to Frenchtown, which everybody hated to go to. Remember, you guys said, don't worry about where the polling place is. Well, somebody will worry about the polling place. When they drew this map up, that's what they were thinking about. So those are the problems, just glancing at it, when I looked at it a couple times, that I saw with it. But this map is gonna make your turnout in District 7 drive it even lower than it was before. Because the students in these areas are always overwhelming, especially off of Reservoir. Going down Reservoir from Bridgeport into Trumbull, the first 4 houses on the right-hand side are all rented student houses. And I know that because I walk the streets, I know. This isn't guessing, this is actual. And I know we didn't look at registered voters and stuff, that's fine. But knowing the area, the way the map is drawn, you're keeping the 122nd out of District 7 and keep it in District 2. I'm guessing that's why they did it, because when they go to redistrict the state, they could take that 122nd out again. We don't know that's going to happen. Nobody knows. But those are my thoughts on that.
I guess I'm trying to figure out why that's a problem. Why is that a problem?
What, driving the voter turnout down?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily agree that that's what's going to happen, but
I listen. After doing
it's
this,
not. It's
I
also
can tell
not
you
really
this.
the concern. It's
Well,
really not really why we're doing this
oh,
either.
no. Well,
No,
what was the
not at all.
whole? What was the whole petition about? The petition.
A more balanced
The petition
representation.
was about what?
A more
No,
balanced
the petition was
representation.
about voter turnout. That lady,
Okay,
Regina
I
Hobbs,
know what
got up on
I
her
know what my
horse,
intent
and
is.
she's. Well, listen, I could really get into this map and really cause a lot of trouble because this map is atrocious.
Okay, tell me
Okay.
why it's atrocious. Give us the reasons.
Reasons?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what the biggest reason about this map is. Okay.
Okay.
The whole reason for this whole redistricting was people are complaining about driving times, and voter turnout. That's what the whole petition was about.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
You're
No, it's
completely
not.
misrepresenting the entire purpose of this.
Absolutely.
No, I'm not. I know. Listen,
Yes, you are. You
No, I'm not.
absolutely are.
Absolutely not.
It was lines, as this is Laurel. The lines are, the voting lines are too long.
No, they're not. That's not
Yes,
true
they
either.
are. Yes,
Can
oh,
Where? In what districts were the lining? Don't say District 2, the voting line is too long, but that's not true.
no,
That
Tony,
is
I was
incomplete.
moderator. I was moderator at District 1. We had almost an hour wait.
But you're not going to change District 1.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
yeah. No, actually, the difference would be pretty substantial, I think.
Laurel, can I be recognized?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. I just want to say that I disagree with Tony's.
What was that?
I disagree with Tony's opinion on this. First of all, I
Just
don't think we should.
introduce yourself.
Tom Kelly. I don't think that we should be talking about someone's, the work that was performed to go into this as being atrocious. It's not atrocious. It's a highly skilled people that put this map together and with actual, doing it the right way with science and everything else. There's several things. The voting turnout in District 2 did go down based upon where it was when there were 7 districts. There's no question about that. You can look at the voter turnout to see that the turnout has been higher when it was 7 districts than when it was 4. We have a situation right now in District 2 where the voting location is placed almost at the Shelton border when the district runs all the way down close to Frenchtown. So it's the longest driving distances of any. And if there's a reason why voter turnout has gone down, perhaps that has been the case. And when we've tried to move that voting location, there has been no cooperation regarding that. Also, there's the whole aspect of this that can't be forgotten, which is majority limitation. and to have the opinion that it's never a good idea to only have, as the Republicans have right now, only 5 members on the town council. It can be as few as 4 members on the town council. And so that's another factor in going to 7 districts. But there's no question that the lines have been longer. The reason why it was so easy to get thousands of people to sign the petition was because they were much more inconvenienced under the 4-district plan than there was under the 7-district plan. There were Republicans and Democrats and everyone else in between that were walking up to the table and signing that petition without even anyone, having to go, work hard to get it, because the voters of Trumbull were inconvenienced by 4 districts. So, there's a lot more to this than just changing for the sake of change.
Okay.
Well, since you opened up the door about skill, okay, let's talk about the person who drew this map. I've been waiting a long time for payback on this one, okay? This is the same guy who drew this map.
Wait, hold on 1 second,
Oh,
Tony.
no, I'm talking now. Be quiet, okay?
You can't
I'm talking.
You can't talk about
I've got it right
payback.
here.
That's not appropriate decorum.
No, you see this? This is a guy who drew, this is Richard White, who drew this map of my house, put a river next to it, okay? And then he put it on the internet. And then my insurance guy calls me and says, why is there a river next to your house? This is the same guy, okay? The same guy. You trust this guy? I don't.
Yes, I certainly do.
I don't. I got the evidence right here, Tom. Look, you want to see it?
You can't talk in
This
a
is the
town
core.
meeting about
No.
payback. That's just not
No,
appropriate
this
discussion.
guy's no good for the town. He's a hack, okay? He's nothing but a hack.
Tony, may I?
I had enough of this guy. For 10 years, I've been listening about the lines drawn, who did what wrong, who's blaming who, instead of just, it seems some people want to move backwards and some people want to move forward, okay?
So
And it
Tony,
seems, Tom, you're in the
Tony,
backwards, moving
excuse me.
backwards time, okay?
Tony, so we have a map in front of us, and this is Laurel, by the way. I have been requesting from all of you, bring me what you have. I don't care who it's from. I mean, I do. Hopefully it's a skilled map, a well thought out map. But I have asked several times, I think at almost every meeting, for people to bring us what you have. So this is what I was able to come up with from a volunteer. I would be very happy to see an alternative if you have one. So if you can come up with one, we now have a little bit more time and we'll be able to go back and compare them and see where perhaps it makes more sense. But, please do that if you can, excuse me, if you can, but I think it is probably not wise to denigrate someone at a public meeting.
No,
But in any event,
Laurel, you know what? That's true, okay? And I'm not just going to disagree with you on that. But I've been denigrated, okay? I've been lied about. And then I got stuff here that I've been sitting on for decades about, the guy put a map on the internet of my house and then posted on the internet. And the insurance guy calls me, goes, why is there a river next to your house? I go, well, I don't know. I look at the map and I go, who drew this? And then I called Richard White and he goes, oh, I was just joking around. Oh, really? Really, Richard? You were joking around? And then I get the maps from him and I'm like, are you kidding me? And then we're using maps, forget about you're going to wait for the census. And I agree with you should wait for the census, but I know you guys want to move through on this process. So I'm trying to be as best I can as look at the map. But
okay, so
this whole thing was about voter turnout and the representation, like Tom said, and driving times. But if you're going to
there were
listen,
several issues.
I guarantee you, if you went with that map right now and you went to go vote in District 7 at the next municipal election, you'll have less than 1,000 people show up to vote. That's just my prediction. Because if you go back in time, when I was in District 7, if you got 1,200 people to show up, at a municipal election at District 7, going back to 2007 when I was standing there, okay? You were lucky. I got the numbers. Okay? And that's why I don't understand. And you got more people, this area has become more of rentals for college students.
So Tony, I'm going to ask you again, how would you suggest then changing the map? I mean,
Well, again, we're changing, again, I understand. Listen, the best way to do it is like with bills, you need to wait until the census is done, but you guys aren't going to do that. So again, I'm only one person.
So I guess I have still not heard a good reasoning for, first of all, waiting for the next census. I've not heard a good argument for that.
The good reason is you have.
Excuse me, Tony. Excuse me, Tony, please. I waited until you were finished talking before I started talking. So the other thing is that I think we really need to just stay focused on what our charge is from the town council. We were given a very, very narrow, specific charge as a redistricting committee to answer within the parameters of that charge. And from my understanding, and Laurel is the chair, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I think you have it there. What we were given is to try to present to the council a plan that gives equal representation through whatever number of districts that is, right? And to make sure that it is as equal as possible across the town. And we can't, going outside of that is not in our purview. We're not charged with that. We're charged with a very specific task. And I think we need to stay focused on that.
Yes, Kevin, rather, that's exactly our very, very narrow focus. So I'm not exactly sure what we can do about the map. I certainly don't know another person who could redraw it.
Well, I'm just still, I guess I didn't understand the list of, I mean, if there are problems, if Tony has legitimate concerns about specific areas of how this map is drawn, I mean, you listed out some. I didn't really understand why those were problems necessarily. You know, if you really feel strongly that they are problems, maybe it's important for us to understand what those are and really, you know, delineate them.
So if you all don't mind, Steve, are you with us yet?
Can you hear me, Laurel?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I switched to my phone.
Okay. Oh, excellent. Okay. So one of the documents we received was a revised 7-district plan boundary description. And this incorporated those more recent changes that you found from September. And I think everybody has that document. I actually sent it to you in Word form because it included the comments where certain roads don't intersect and things that we may need to take another look at. Do you all have that document? The Word document does have the tracking changes.
Yeah, and I had a question about that. I was curious because I was trying to make comparisons with that Word document with the other scanned document that had the handwritten changes. Is this a complete
Kevin,
translation
introduce
of that?
yourself. Just introduce yourself, Kevin.
I'm sorry, this is Kevin Shively. Sorry, Dan. So is this just a written up version of that, or is this different in any way? I was having a hard time matching.
This is Laurel. It's my understanding that this is the original document that we had, plus the changes that Steve found when he did his review back in September of 2019. This
is Kevin, and you mean the changes, meaning the handwritten stuff that we had seen before?
This is Laurel. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Steve, can you, did you have a chance to look at that document? The revised description?
This is Steve. Are you referring to the one that Richard sent out?
This is Laurel.
I
Yes,
didn't
I am.
see. Yeah, I didn't receive one from you, but I did get the one from Richard, and I did look at that. And there were still a couple breaks in the sequence that have to be addressed, but otherwise
Okay.
it looked complete.
Okay, so this is Laurel.
And again, that's just looking at it from a technical standpoint as far as connecting the dots.
Okay, so District 1 didn't seem to have any changes. Tony, were any of the items that you brought to our attention from District 1 in District 1?
No.
Okay, in District 2, it looks like the westerly, what's the word? Is it coordinate? Steve?
Boundary.
Boundary, okay. So the westerly boundary has an issue with West Misha Road and West Lake Road because they don't intersect. Steve, can you explain to us what that means? Or what we have
Yes,
to do?
absolutely. This is Steve Early. Because the description runs along West Misha Road, and then it immediately jumps to West Lake. And physically, they don't connect. There's, I think, I'm not sure what information was used to make that. Once upon a time, they did connect, but there was a right-of-way that ran through what is now the Pinewood Lake Lodge, but that's long gone, and you just have to find another way of describing to get to West Lake, either by you could say by the edge of the lake or work your way around the roads, but right now that's a gap in the description.
So this is Kevin Shively. Are we allowed then to just, because obviously if we trace it along the bottom of Pinewood Lake, then part of West Lake Road and Southgate Road and Palmer, what is that, Palmer, is that Terrace?
Mm-hmm.
Those three would then be in what is it, District 7, right? But if you went down and around, I guess, and followed those roads, does that change between that and going across the boundary of the actual lake? Does that change anything as far as which districts those houses would be in?
Steve Early again. I'm not sure. I'm only looking at it from a closure standpoint. The impact as far as who ends up in what district, I'll leave that to you guys to decide. But yes, absolutely. If you loop around those houses, they'll be included. If you go along the lake, they'll be excluded.
Or they'll be in one district or the other.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so this is Laurel again. So I believe one of the things we all decided on as a committee was not to break up census blocks. Am I right?
Correct.
So
That was my understanding. Kevin, this is Kevin.
okay, so we would then need to keep in mind, however we describe this, to make sure we're not moving properties in one census block into, splitting a census block somehow. So I guess I throw the question out. How do we,
Laurel, excuse me, it's Vicky. Could I just say something?
Please, sure.
So it's Vicky Tesoro, First Selectman. Again, I would, from the knowledge I have from being on the previous redistricting committee, you cannot split a census block.
Right.
So, you need to keep that in mind when you're looking at this. And any other questions you want to ask me from any previous dealings with this, and as far as this 7-district map that was created back in the 2012 a redistricting committee. It's the exact same map that was created then.
So this is Kevin Shively. If you look at the census block, so the census blocks are on that printed map that we got, right? So, and if you compare those two and you look, that it looks like that is a block right there around that loop. And the line here in the printed map appears to just go straight across the bottom of the lake, right? Meaning that all of those houses in that loop are in District 7 and wholly unbroken in terms of census blocks, which would keep us in line with the population totals that were presented on that map as well from the 2010 census.
So this is Laurel. When I'm looking at the new map that we received, is it where the green line goes up? The top green line for District 7 kind of goes straight up and seems to loop around a white census block. Is that the issue we're talking about? Is that where this is?
Yeah, there are two white, this is Kevin, there are two white census blocks in that top northeastern edge of what's drawn as District 7. You know, two lightly populated census blocks. And that's Misha coming across and then down, and it goes across kind of the bottom, right at bottom of the lake.
Okay.
Which means that it would include the rest of Westlake Road, Palmer, and Southgate Road, and Eastlake as well. All of those would then be included in District 7, and that would be without breaking up any census blocks.
Okay. So this is Laurel. So Steve Early, is this then really just a matter of us trying to come up with a better description and then making sure we're not splitting a census district when we do?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to throw the question out. It's Laurel again. Who does it and how do we do it? I mean, do we just need to look at a map and come up with some suggestions, or?
Yeah, Steve Early. Yeah, I would start with the map you have, and you can mark that up, and I'll reproduce anything you need to support your decisions. You could mark that up to some changes you want to make, and I'll reproduce it, and you can review it accordingly. The population in each block is on that map, and it should. And if you need additional information to help make the decision, I can add that to the map.
So this is Kevin Shively. Is there any reason why we couldn't then just add in the description that something that says something like the border continues from the end of Misha Hill? Is that West Misha? That's West Misha, isn't it?
Yes.
West Misha, from the western end of West Misha, following the edge of Pinewood Lake until it intersects with, or until it reaches Westlake Road, and then continue on with the description as written. Does that make sense? Can we say that?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is Laurel. Jean, were you able to get that, and could you read that back to us?
All right. I don't have it all, but it's Kevin's proposal was we could add the border continues from the western end of West Misha Road, follows the edge of Pinewood Lake until it meets, and what was the street again?
Westlake Road.
Meets Westlake Road.
Okay, this is Laurel. Is everyone sort of good with that description? Okay, we're gonna leave that. And are you got that written down? Okay, right, Jean? I know, thank you. All right, Tony, did you have any other comments on District 2 when you were going over your items? Or was that one of yours?
No, that was the thing that I had written down.
Okay, great. All right.
Laurel?
Yes.
Steve Early again. I did find another spot that I thought was a little confusing. And again, if it works for you, that's fine, but just from a technical standpoint, further down in District 2, there's a description that goes from Twin Brooks Drive and then follows the north border of Twin Brooks Ponds.
Okay. This.
Am I okay to continue? You're with me on that?
Yeah, I was just reading it. Yeah.
Okay. And then it talks about a perpendicular line to the Pequannock River. And again, just looking at it from a technical standpoint, it's not a fixed point because the edge of the ponds and the river are somewhat parallel. It'd be hard for somebody to actually find that location and reproduce it.
Well, this is Laurel. So Steve, is there a better way to describe it?
Again, I don't know the impact on the zones, but I mean, is there a problem with going all the way to the where Twin Brooks Drive intersects with Brock Street or Brock Road, and then go out to White Plains or to Pequannock River?
Well, it's Laurel again.
Or you could.
Would that be splitting census?
Oh, okay. If you, I'm not looking at the map with the blocks at the moment. The other thing would be just to try and nail it down and say where the edge of the pond, the closest point to the river. It needs a fixed point. Otherwise, it's a floating intersection.
Okay, this is Laurel again. So it would read something like Twin Brooks Park Pond to the river?
Well, to the point of where it says follows the north boundary of the Twin Brooks Ponds. And you could say till it reached the closest point to the Pequannock River, and then a perpendicular line to the river is. I think that's the way he had it written.
Okay. This is Laurel again. So it would be northern border of Twin Brooks Park Ponds to the closest point to Pequannock River along a line perpendicular to the Pequannock River?
Again, I don't have that because I don't have that map in front of me. Is that supposed to be following a census block? Is that where that comes from? Because if that's the case, you could just reference a census block, say to the border of census block number, and then continue on from there.
Okay, so that Laurel speaking. So that would be something we would need to check out then to get this.
Yeah, I think again, it's probably a petty matter, but just doing my job from a technical standpoint, it's if I had to reproduce that, I wouldn't be able to find that actual location.
So this is Kevin Shively. So I think what you're saying is that we could actually reference the census block and just name the number of census block and saying following along the northern boundaries of census blocks, 5, 6, and 7 or whatever they are. We could say that.
Yeah.
Until it reaches another point that we define.
Yeah, absolutely, Steve Early. Because Richard had done that further in another district where it follows Reservoir Avenue. because it's a funny situation. Reservoir was relocated, so the census blocks don't follow the road. So he actually does something similar there. And it seems highly appropriate and certainly accurate.
Okay.
Kelly, Laurel, do you know when Richard is going to be able to join us? And if maybe not today, but I mean, it would be nice if we could discuss these things with him being here.
I had actually expected him to be. Perhaps he ran into a problem. I haven't been able to get into my email, so
Laurel, this is Cindy Caskey. I reached out to Richard by text and I also called him and left a voicemail. So
okay, thank you.
I was not able to reach him directly.
Let's see if I can actually get into my email. Yeah, I can, but I'm not seeing anything from him. Well, if need be, Tom, we could set up, whoops, let me see if I can get back in here. We can try setting something up to get Richard to answer some of those questions.
I just think it would be more efficient because this is his work, and he might have answers or perspectives that we're not aware of because he's not here.
Okay. All right, good point. Do you want to just finish off the rest of these and see that there's only one more that I see on this list. Two more. Because he actually, Richard, this is Laurel speaking again. He actually threw these back on us. These notes in the margins here are from Richard. I think he was looking for us to try to figure out how we wanted to rename or what we were going to do about it. So let's continue on just with what we have in front of us, and then you're right, we need to try to set something up that we have Richard back here to answer our questions.
So Laurel, this is Kevin Shively. Would it help if I actually didn't even notice those comments. That's actually very helpful to see those now. I didn't even think about clicking on those little, speech bubbles. If we did, I would even be willing to just write something up like this just to help out. If we had suggestions for how to describe those things in even ahead of time before he joins us, would it make sense for us to then run those past him and see if those answer the comments that he's made here?
Sure, Laurel speaking. Yes, I agree, Kevin, it would be. And one suggestion I might make is, Tony, I'm not sure what your other, what other things you had seen. There's one change in 4, one change in 4 and one change in 5 that are noted on the document that we received. Did you have something other than that? Because if there were, then perhaps Kevin, we need to incorporate those questions in this as well. So Tony, what other things had you seen?
Okay. I'm looking at the thing that there's hold on one sec.
Did you have anything in 3? Because there's nothing noted here.
Well,
no
here's I don't like the verbiage on this. District 7. Okay. Now the boundaries don't change regardless if it's District 2 or District 7. In the last go around on this, they describe the southerly part of that is the Stratford and Bridgeport town lines in each part. Here, he just put the Bridgeport town line. Down easterly, he put the Stratford town line, and on the last one that we did, now these aren't going to change. These are fixed, regardless of what map you draw. It's the town lines. This one, Sully says the Stratford and Bridgeport town lines each part, and then the Shelton and Stratford town lines in each part on the easterly. Why just put the Stratford town line? Why aren't we putting it the way we did it before? The Shelton and Stratford town line, because District 7 does wrap around the back up through Shelton and around on both sides, Stratford and on the Shelton lines also. That'd be question on that one.
Okay,
And
and then on Southerly, you wanted to add
Yeah.
Stratford?
Well, yeah, because if you go around up past by Vazzi's and go up and around back up towards Trumbull, that's Stratford right there where Treelands is. So why
Right.
are we leaving that out? That's Bridgeport and Stratford. They kind of right next to each other. And this is going by the last 2012 one verbiage that we had. And then my other question would be, and I'd have to do more research on.
Tony, hold on one second, it's Laurel. Steve, was this changed because of corrections you had made for some reason?
No.
Okay, no worries. Okay, just figured I'd ask while you're here. Okay, Tony?
So just so I understand, I'm sorry, Kevin Shively speaking here. I think you're suggesting, Tony, that for example, in District 7, the southerly, I'm sorry, I lost my place here. Oh yeah, there it is. So you're saying the southerly is not just the Bridgeport line, but also includes part of the Stratford town line. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, absolutely, because
Okay,
it
all right.
does.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just trying to, obviously we both live in that area of town, so we know, but I just want to make
Just
sure I
like
understood what we're changing here. Okay, that makes sense.
And just like the Easterly, the Shelton and Stratford, because again, they're right. It's right there.
Easterly, okay.
I mean, you can, the Westerly Reservoir, you want to throw in the 132nd, that's fine. I mean, and and the other part that I would check would be, let me see this other map. Is the part around, hang on.
Well, this is Laurel again. Let me just
The
interject
part-
while you're looking for your thing there, Tony.
Go ahead.
Steve,
Mhm.
When,
Go ahead.
when you're coding, because I think you're the one who codes the information for the town to make the changes for voters on the voter record, or you do part of it anyway, do you not?
Are you asking me?
You'll go in and code the addresses. So under where it says under District 7 under Westerly, is that going to make this challenging that the border is actually described as as a voting district as opposed to roads? Because this is the border is the line of the 134th State Assembly District. It's not by census, it's not describing a census block, it's not describing a street, it's describing another of the line formed by a voting district.
Steve Early, that line should be coincidental with the census blocks. It probably incorporates several census blocks, but it shouldn't be dividing any census blocks at all.
Okay, and when you have to code things, it wouldn't be a challenge to try to use that as the description to code those addresses.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't follow what you mean when you say coding.
Was it you who goes, or maybe it's the state, I'm not 100% sure who actually did it, who goes into the voting records and or into the street. I think it was you that changed the streets into voting district 2 or 1 or whatever, was it not?
Oh, I think I reviewed that for Sandy and Barbara. But
Right.
they actually connect, they have the software with the people in Hartford, and they do the actual changes. But
So-
yeah, I did a review for them.
Okay, so how challenging is that description going to be for somebody?
Not at all.
Okay, I just wanted to make
'Cause
sure
when
that
you-
we're not making somebody's life a misery.
No, I don't think it changes the work. The way they do it, it's done by address. So they have to go in, and if somebody's moved from one district to another, they go house by house and have to change it. Actually, they can do it by street, a whole street, or individual houses. So whether it's a physical reference or a district reference, it doesn't change the job.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Laurel,
Tony-
it's Dan Shopik. Just
Hi,
one,
Dan.
one thing, that last boundary line, it should be Reservoir Avenue, not Reservoir Road.
Oh, instead of Reservoir Road. Good catch, thank you.
Yeah. And Laurel,
Who's- Who's speaking?
Steve Early.
Hi, Steve.
And again, in District 7, we had the same situation with the Paquonic River and the ponds. So we'd have to change that reference as well.
Okay, to mirror the District 2 description.
Exactly.
Okay.
What was that? I didn't quite catch that.
Laurel speaking. So Steve was just reminding us that the District 7 northerly border is contiguous with the District 2 westerly border. And so the description we're using that we changed for the Twin Brooks Park Pond area, we have to mirror in District 7 northerly.
Well, another thing about District 7 also is, I don't see any descriptions in this description of going through the area on the map of Tate Mill Road, where it cuts off through Tate Mill and then goes back over to Daniels Farm Road. I don't see in the descriptions where it says that. Unless I'm looking at it incorrectly. The map is drawn through Tate's Mill Road, correct? It goes up Tate's Mill and then goes like around the corner and it comes back down.
Laurel speaking. Steve, do you know?
I'm just trying to pull that up.
Hang on, let me look at the map. Hang on.
Where's Tate's Mill Road? This is Kevin.
Yeah, Steve Early. Yeah, he has the northerly border as Daniels Farm to Paquonic River, not Tate's Mill.
This is Laurel. Should it be Tate's Mill?
Well, if you're looking at it, look at where this, it kind of goes up and then back around. I don't know. I just thought I'd bring it up. I mean, again, it's hard to see it on this, but because the magic marker's drawn over the actual map part of it. So I don't see that in here, but you're cutting that off, or why does it go up the road here? Come up and around and back down. See right here where it goes kind of like a little bump out before it goes south. It kind of goes, I'm sorry, before it goes north. It goes up White Plains Road, and then it goes up Churchill, And then it takes a right there. Tate's Mill Road's right here. It's right on the border.
This is Laurel. Is it on the border with 6?
5 and 6,
5 and 6?
according to the map I'm looking at. But again, it's hard to see,
Yeah. It's,
so I could be wrong. I'm just bringing it
Yeah,
up.
this is Kevin. I think I see what you're talking about. You're talking about where that 734 is, right? Right there.
756, yeah. That little bump out right there.
okay. So that potentially would need to be added to 7.
Yeah, if that's what it's supposed to, again, it's hard to say,
Okay.
so.
Yeah. But then theoretically, it might need to be added to one of the other districts as well. Okay, so,
Where's Tate's Mill Road show up on, in which map? I mean, in which area? Because Tate's Mill Road is long, so it could be, it may be a census block, so you can't split it up.
okay. All right, so I'll ask that question too.
This is Kevin. I mean, it looks to me like Tate's Mill Road in its entirety is in
6?
6. It looks like it just goes, that the line goes up White Plains Road